Hello and welcome back to another Tonto video. In today's one we're at the TMNT The Archie Adventures issue number 56, and this issue is mainly a action issue and there isn't really too much I can really talk about with this one, just because the majority of this issue just gets to see the Turtles fighting Noel and his fierce enforcement gang member things. So yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't really know where to really begin with this one, because like I said, a lot of this issue is mainly dealing with the Turtles, the Future Turtles, Slash, Splinter, Ninjara, fighting Noel, the Enforcement guys, and all that kind of stuff. So there isn't really all too much I can really talk about, just because a lot of it's just, oh, this happened and this happened, and I don't really go into that because that seems rather boring. So yeah, okay, so I think I'll just point out like some key moments I would say. So like one of them we do get to see like one of the guys that is trying to shoot at Candy and she's on the floor, so Donnie somehow digs up a spot for Candy, just puts her in there before he starts going there himself, and then starts getting his bow stuff out to start shooting at all these guys, which wow. Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting that from Donnie, but this bit here, I'd say that this was, like, one of my few negatives about this issue, and that was the fact that Donnie just went on to go on to explain everything that's happened in the last few issues, and it is so annoying. I mean, just like in the last issue, they went on to explain everything pretty well with what happened in the backup stories in the last few issues before that, where we've got to see like the mutanimals building their new base and then getting killed by the foursome guys and the aliens. So I didn't really feel like we needed to like go over that and explore it anymore, because it felt like we explored that pretty well, especially with like having like seen all that in the backup stories. So it felt like it was like very unnecessary to go over it again, and considering like they really didn't go like in any new detail whatsoever, and it was still from like the same point of view that we've seen it from the other few times, where we've got like, you know, got to see like Donnie in particular like explain it like from the last issue as well, but also he was there in the first time, so it just really felt like it was just a very unnecessary explanation as to what's happening. I can understand them doing it just so that they can keep the reader up to date with all that kind of stuff, but at the same time I feel like if you're reading this series, and especially if you're like 56 issues into the series, I really don't think you're going to be too worried about if you kept up with some of the continuity or not. At that point you must just go all the way with it and all that kind of stuff, and at the very least you most likely would have read the last issue or very few issues, so it really felt like very unnecessary. But I can't really complain all too much, because I feel like as a kid this would have been very helpful, but it just feels so unnecessary. I feel like had they included some more information or just anything new would have been a lot more entertaining to see that there is like more to the story than what we actually know. But unfortunately it's everything that we know and just a tad bit more, so unfortunately, yeah. And then like even do go on to explain like some of the stuff that happened in like the actual last issue itself, with like Mike like being kidnapped, which again isn't bad, but at the same time if you've read like last issue then it just feels so pointless and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I got nothing else to really say about the matter, but yeah. But we do get to see one bit where we do get to see Mondo Gecko. He comes back to life and starts talking to Candy, and she's quite surprised by this just because she thought that Mondo's dead. However, Mondo's eyes start to change, and that's when we do get to see all the mutant animals in hell screaming out in pain to reach out to Candy. Oh my god, I don't know where to begin with this part. I mean, I thought the last issue where we got to see a dead bodies or the mutant animals was dark enough, but seeing like their souls trapped in hell, screaming out in pain, reaching out for Candy, I have no words for that. That is extremely dark. I mean, I really thought the last issue was pushing limits, but clearly I was wrong at doing stuff like this. My god, I mean, what are we going to be doing next? I can only imagine, but oh god. But yeah, I mean, it was really nice. It was like a really dark, gory page. It wasn't overly gory, but it's still like a very dark, edgy kind of scene, which I was just not prepared for. But it was nice, interesting, but just not what I expected from Turtles, especially ones aimed for the kids. What were they thinking? But yeah, afterwards turns out to be Noel. Somehow he has the ability to, I think, like shapeshift and all that kind of stuff. despite there's never been something which they explained or showed before. So are they just making new stuff up for his character now? They don't go on to explain this whatsoever, so I have no idea what this really means for his character. I doubt it means anything, because I'm pretty sure a character gets defeated in the next issue, so yeah, but at the same time, what were they thinking? This is supposed to be... I have no idea. It would be nice to have some continuity, consistency and all that kind of stuff. But what were they thinking? My god. But yeah, so after that we do get to see everyone. They find out that the 4 guys who are fighting the turtles turns out to be robots. So that's when they just go on a killing spree, and we do get to see him all brutally destroy them. Ninja at one point squashes one of them with a rock on the head. I mean, I feel like some of this stuff is really cool. I feel like had this not been robots, and people didn't know that these were robots, then this would definitely be interpreted as a very dark issue. I don't have too much really to say other than that, but just, what were they thinking? This is supposed to be for the kids, right? But yeah, so it turns out Raphael, Future Raphael just gets some information about what to do next. So we've got Leo and Donnie, they're going to be going after Mikey just because everyone wants to go after Noel, which is understandable, while we do have some turtles going after Mikey. Yeah, I don't have too much to really say about that. It's just a setup for I think it's the next story arc, I want to say, or next few issues. So at least it's saying stuff up there. I don't have too much to really say about it just now, just because they just jump in water and just piss off. So yeah, but then we've got the other turtles, Splinter and Ninja. They decide to go and follow Noel because he decided to fly off to the moon. Yeah, okay, that's... of course, yeah, that's where we're going next. Why not? We've got characters in hell, shape-shifting demons, and now we're going to the moon to fight a demon. Yeah, why not? If anything, that makes sense for Turtles at this rate. But, yeah. So, I'd say that overall for this issue, it was a interesting one for some parts. I mean, I really did enjoy the action throughout this issue. There was a lot of dark moments which I was enjoying, but I do definitely feel like it was definitely a tad bit too dark for a kid's book, especially with dead corpses in hell screaming out in pain. What were they thinking? That is incredibly dark. I loved it, but my god, they really need to tame themselves just a little bit. And then also seeing that Mondo and the Noel stuff, yeah, of course, why not? And then now we're going to the moon. It's a really weird and wacky issue, which I feel like definitely gets weirder as it goes along, but it definitely needed to hold back just a little bit with some of the dark elements. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this issue. Do you like it? Do you not? And yeah, that's it for today, guys. Please subscribe and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.